Welcome, everyone, to our community, our money, the entrepreneur in you. My name is Jermaine Washington, and I'm your host. So, for today's show, we'll be speaking with Brian Smith, CEO of Brian Smith Construction and Inspection Incorporated. Mr. Smith has been an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur for over 30 years. He will have a lot of information on how he has maintained his business throughout these years. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great show. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here today. Tell me a little bit about yourself, your educational background, just a little bit about you.
Okay, Jermaine, I'd be happy to. I have a degree in architecture I got from Southern University. I did spend some time at Prairie View. And really, while I was in high school and junior high school, I liked drafting. And I think after I realized that I was pretty good at it, that encouraged me to maybe continue with architecture.
Wow. So you have an architecture degree, and so you took that into starting your own company. So is that what made you decide to be an entrepreneur instead of work for a major corporation?
Well, I always wanted to have my own business, and I thought it may be an architectural business, but I always wanted to have my own business. I just thought I would have more control over my future and my life and things like that. So I thought that would probably be the best avenue for me to go in. I guess I've been doing it for 31 years now. And this is actually my second business. While in school, I had a business doing basically drawing for developers and things like that. And then I would have other architecture students to come and help. So I was kind of in business then. I guess a lot of it was still out of necessity because after I got out of school, it was difficult getting a job. And so having started my own business and doing some of this while in college, I just kept going because, it was difficult being African-American going into a majority white firm to get employment. It was just, this would have been in the 80s. And so it was much easier to start my own business.
So you always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and you used the fact that, hey, I can't find a job, so I'm going to make my own way. I'm going to make my own destiny and all of that. So this isn't your first business. How many other businesses you have before you settled upon the construction business?
Well, this was the second endeavor, construction management. That's this business. I had a architectural drafting business before this. I've also been into the restaurant business. I had the Golden Corral restaurant on Main and 610. I had two other partners, and that was a good venture. So yeah, I'm doing some real estate type things. I've done that through years, projects.
Now that you tell me a little bit about your business and all of the things that you've done to get started, can you talk about a day in the life of the CEO of Brian Smith Construction and Inspection Corporation? I know it's a lot that goes into a business. Just tell us a day in the life of you.
I've been doing it for years, kind of have a routine. I like to work out in the morning. I've been an avid runner for years. And so I'm probably walking more. I'm kind of going to swim. But after I get that out of my system, I do go into the office. And, of course, COVID-19, I am working from home more. But I spend, I guess, the majority of my time doing a lot of administrative and marketing for the business. That's probably what I spend most of my time. I do get a chance to go out to the field from time to time and things like that. But administrative and marketing is probably most of my time.
So you do a lot of administrative work, a lot of marketing after you've done your run. And so how many people do you have working for you at the company, and what are some of their roles?
Okay, so we have 9 full-time employees, and they're inspectors. They work out on the site. We have 2 engineers that work with us, and some clerical support and things like that.
And do you have any part-time employees, or everybody's full-time?
Everyone's full-time. I do have one guy who's actually doing a full-time job, and he's doing some side work for me as well.
So also I wanted to ask you, now that you are working from home and have been kind of like, made to stay home due to what's going on with the pandemic and the COVID, how are you pivoting your business, and how are you still able to do inspections and all that while COVID-19 is going on? Like, how is that happening?
Well, construction is an essential service, so we haven't stopped working. I'm concerned about making sure our inspectors and employees are protected, and so I have gotten a lot of masks and things like that. I make sure that they have that. We've moved a lot of our meetings to WebEx and Zoom, and I actually like it. It's a lot more efficient. I'm not spending a lot of time in the truck anymore, traveling from place to place, and so it has changed our business a little bit. Blessed that we're in a field that it hasn't stopped our business. So.
Yes, you're truly blessed, as so many people have been victims of losing their businesses and or their jobs right now. So it is a blessing that you're still able to pivot and continue to work with your company. Also, I was going to ask you, we're probably going to have to continue this in the next segment, but I was just going to quickly ask you, so now that you're working from home and doing all of these things, has there been any problems that you haven't encountered before that you're now having to figure out other ways?
Yeah, it is. The first couple of weeks were really kind of clumsy because a lot of people had to learn how to work from home, get Zoom and things like that. But I always kind of had a little workstation. I work a lot from home.
Well, we're going to talk more about this because I just think the people really want to know how to pivot. So we'll be right back. When we return from our break, we will continue our discussion with Mr. Brian Smith about what it takes to be a CEO of a successful small business. I want to remind everyone to check out our Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program under the Entrepreneurial Initiatives Department, who continue to have new cohorts in 2020, and they have transitioned online. So we're still doing as Brian is doing, we're still working. You can get all of the information on this program at our website, which is hccs.edu/smallbusiness. This program continues to move forward towards its goal to help 10,000 small businesses. See if you qualify. We'll be right back.
Saskia. She loves cars. Seriously, she whistles at them. So she's studying engineering at Houston Community College. After that, a 4-year degree. Then it's off to the races. HCC, for everyone, anytime.
Welcome back, everyone, to Our Community, Our Money, the Entrepreneur in You. I would like to welcome back Brian Smith to the show. So, Brian, we were just talking about some of the things that you were working on. You said you always have had a home office, and so you're used to working from home, so you're able to easily transition to online due to what's going on with the pandemic. But what I would like to know is, what advice would you have to some struggling businesses out there who may not be as lucky as you or have had the opportunity as easily as you to pivot and to work from home? What advice would you give these other entrepreneurs?
My advice is to make the shift. This is the way of the future from now on. And so, go ahead and find a spot at home that you can set up for a workstation, kind of, if you need quiet and pull away. But go ahead and begin to make the transition, set up your computer, Wi-Fi, and so that you can begin to work from home. You may as well get used to it.
So basically, they have to be ready for anything, and they have to be able to work from anywhere in these new times, correct?
Correct. And just laptop and Wi-Fi, that's most of it right there. And everyone has smartphones, so we're creative, and especially in times like these, we become inventive, and especially with entrepreneurs and having your own business, you learn how to adapt, and we're going to have to adapt.
I would like for you to tell about some of the types of some of the different organizations that you're involved in and how these organizations are beneficial to you as an entrepreneur. I know that when I read your bio, you had many, many, many different, I was like, I don't know how he has time for all of these organizations. So please tell our viewers, why is this important to be a part of these organizations to help grow your business?
Some of it grows your business, and some really doesn't. I have a love for my community, and it's gone back years to where I could see that there were development in other parts of town that was not happening in our community. And so I got involved through our state rep, Garnet Coleman, and got involved with with the TERS, Tax Incremental Investment Zone, and also the Management District, Greater Southeast Management District, Houston Southeast. So he's allowed me to chair the Management District, and we've just seen a lot of development. This is helped with trash pickup, graffiti removal. We help to have additional police patrolling our area and their cars, and we've had bicycle, motorcycle, even horseback. And so we have seen development through the TERS, major projects, parks, roads, a lot of infrastructure that we see, say like on Briggs and OST, where from sidewalk to sidewalk we've developed. And then the Management District supports those projects, so we maintain them into perpetuity.
Some of your organizations actually help you to develop other business, and then some of your organizations are pure giving back to the community, which I do believe also helps your business just to be a part of helping the community as well. So do you recommend for our entrepreneurs out there to get involved in other, extracurricular type organizations such as yourself? Do you advise that?
I totally advise it. You have to change your community, and then you also get a chance to meet people. You move around, you go to different meetings, but it's a lot of networking, and that will help your business. But the fact that you're out there doing something positive for the community, those things come around. People remember that, you do have that compassion and oh yeah, you're in this type of business, maybe we can support you.
So my next question is a question that everyone always wants to know. How do you get business for your company? How did you get to where you are? I mean, what is your marketing strategy?
Well, that's networking again. It really is through a lot of networking to get started. And so I went to a lot of fundraisers and different networking events and got involved with some organizations in my industry that would help and going to a lot of board meetings for organizations that I'm interested in to try and do business has been a good strategy, and it's a long-term strategy because they meet once a month. You've got to go to those meetings for maybe a couple of years or so. So that's a really good long-term strategy. And after you get business, then the key is keeping your clients happy, keeping your current clients happy. And so that'll help you get new business through your current relationships.
As a CEO, and we have a lot of student entrepreneurs and a lot of people who want to be entrepreneurs, and we know that most small businesses fail. What advice do you have for future entrepreneurs who are out there every day trying to be as successful and long-term as you are? What advice do you have for them?
Work hard, give it 110%. A lot of times people think because I have my own business, I don't have a boss, I can do whatever I want. And a lot of that is just not true. When you have your own business, you have many bosses. All your clients become your boss. And so your job is to make sure that your client stays happy, just like you would want to make sure that your boss is satisfied with your work product. So work hard, give it 110%.
Right, working hard. So you just can't be slacking off thinking that you have your own company. The Entrepreneurial Initiatives Department has so many unique areas under its department to reach students, community, and entrepreneurs. There are so many opportunities and resources available for entrepreneurs through our department. Also, our corporate college is in partnership with the Texas Workforce Commission, and they provide funding opportunities through their small business program that can be used to train employees at no cost. You can also check with our Skills for Small Business program as well. To access all of these resources and information, please visit our website at hccs.edu/smallbusiness. You should definitely check it out. We'll be right back.
This is Mack. She's ready to build herself a house and a business. But first, she's building her resume with a construction certification from Houston Community College. HCC, for everyone, anytime.
I learned how to cook from my grandmother in the mountains of Oaxaca. Every time I need some comfort, I just remember what she told me. HCC definitely was a turning point in my life. What those wonderful teachers and instructors taught me is priceless. I have won many awards and worked in many restaurants. HCC was the window which opened the opportunity for me. For this wonderful city, they have given me so much. I will thank you from the bottom of my heart.
This is Ronak. She's a mom with a physics degree, so she understands the power of momentum. And she knows that by learning English at Houston Community College, she'll be unstoppable. HCC, for everyone, anytime.
Welcome back, everyone. In this segment, we're going to continue our conversation with Brian about the future of his company and what he's doing to ensure his business is viable during the COVID pandemic. So, Brian, Now, I know we talked about getting the laptop and all of those type of things that people need to do now because it's the wave of the future, and you never know what can happen as has been shown by this COVID-19 pandemic. Do you have any other tips that you might want to give business owners about how to navigate their business through any type of up and down? Because I know businesses go through cash flow problems and payroll problems and trying to have money to market. And what tips would you give our students and our entrepreneurs?
I think that we're going to have to find ways to make sure that our businesses are resilient through these tough times like COVID-19 or the storm that we had a few years ago. And so, we're going to have to think, okay, I'm here now, everything's fine, but what if? What if we came up with a COVID-19 or what's going to happen to my business in the next storm? What am I going to need to keep my doors open? Things like that. Is it supplies? Is it relationships that I'm going to have to have? And so you develop them now and develop those channels. So whether it's a product that you need to have, so you have to consider whatever supply chain you're going to need to get whatever product that you need for your business. And so you have to just kind of think ahead and prepare. I know for a small business, but at least for products, you can't keep a lot of things on the shelf. But we're just going to have to think in terms of the next disaster and placing ourselves in that disaster. And okay, now I'm in it. What do I need? And then we have to plan around that so that when or if that time comes, we're prepared.
So it sounds like to me that you're saying you need to have a disaster recovery plan, not just about COVID, but about storms, about any type of situation that may come up to disrupt your business model. Now, does that include seeking out business loans? Do you recommend, because I know a lot of new business and small owners say they have a hard time accessing capital. What do you have to say about that? What do you think about that?
You're definitely going to need money in those times. You have to consider that your revenue stream has slowed down or come to a halt. And so having a line of credit set up, or lines of credit set up, and you do those when you're not in a storm. You do those when the times are good. But definitely developing those relationships, those banking relationships, hey, I don't need anything right now, but I just want to come by, introduce myself, tell you about my business, and maybe I'd like to set up another meeting and put my tax returns on the table, and maybe our qualification summary, and get you into educated on our business model. So those are things, we do that.
So when the times are great, you got to make sure that you're thinking about times that are not going to be so great. So you put money in a nest egg, or you're preparing just in case you do run into these type of issues. So that's great advice, Brian. So do you have a website that you would like to promote to our audience who may be interested in the type of services that you provide, or a way where people can contact your company that you want to talk about?
Our website is www.bsci-inc.com.
And that's where they can reach you and have all the information about you?
That'll give you our company, tell you about the services that we provide, and some project experience and how to get in touch with us and things like that.
Your business sounds wonderful, and it's been in existence for many, many, many years. But I'm sure throughout those 30 years, you had to face some challenges and some ups and some downs. Can you tell our viewers about some of the challenges that you faced in your business career, your company?
Oh, yes, Jermaine, and that's a good question. I'm glad you asked. You know, kind of picking up on our last conversation, when times are good is when you prepare, or when times are not. And so, yeah, going and maybe upgrading computers and things like that, when when you don't need it, because when the economy goes bad, say like when we had the recession, or if if we have a great mayor right now, but let's say at the end of this one we had a mayor that was not favorable to our business, we're going to have to be able to exist past that. And I've had to go through a lot of that. Um, we have an office in Washington, D.C., and during the recession, we spent a lot of time promoting and developing that business, because there the economy remained fairly flat. It took a serious dip here, but a lot of those projects, because the nation's capital, had to happen. And so we were able to stay busy that way. So diversification, when times are good, is a second. So, spend your money, your time, upgrading and making sure that your equipment and things like that are up to date. But then also look at other places you can diversify, whether it's opening up another office, or coming out with a new product line, or anything like
That's some amazing advice. I'm glad you brought up that recession, because I was going to ask you about that, because you have been in business back when that recession hit, and you gave our viewers an interesting take on how you diversified and pivoted to something else during that recession where there was a need, because I know construction was not going as well during that time. So we have about 30 seconds left, and I want to know, is there anything else you want to say to our audience before we depart?
Jermaine, I want to thank you for having me on your show, and it has been great. It's actually given me a lot to think about, and so I think for all our businesses, we're going to have to do our best to stay in business and do whatever that takes over the next few years. So I just wish you the best of luck, and thank you again for having me.
Thank you, Brian. It was a pleasure speaking with you today. And as always, I would like to share this tip for future entrepreneurs during these certain times of COVID-19. Experiment with new ideas, and don't be afraid to pivot in a different direction, possibly take advantage of new business opportunities. Thanks for watching Our Community, Our Money, Entrepreneur in You. See you next time.